The average cost of assisted living in the United States is over $4,500 a month. A private room in a nursing home is over $9,000 a month. In-home care with a full-time aide can run anywhere from $5,000 to $6,000 a month or more. If those numbers just made your stomach drop, you're not alone. Long-term care is one of the biggest financial shocks families face, and most of them don't even know it until they're in the middle of it. So today, I'm going to break down every option, every cost, exactly how to start planning, even if you're not ready to start that stage at this moment. Welcome back to the Sandwich Generation Life. This is part 3 and the final video in our Money Talk series. If you haven't watched part 1 and 2, day-to-day finances and will and estate planning, I will put the links for both of those in the description below. Today, we're tackling a big one, the one that keep adult children up at night for real, and that's long-term care costs. I want to be honest with you. Um, in the first in the first 2 videos of the series, I mentioned to you that our parent was upfront with the finances and us taking over the finances, and they're also upfront with saying that they had a will and where it was located. But we hadn't got this far, and that's the long-term care costs and the planning around it. So I'm going through this phase right along with you. Why does this feel so overwhelming? Long-term care is overwhelming, I think, for 3 reasons. The first reason is cost. Genuinely shocking. This is just the 2 words that I would definitely put around the cost of long-term care. Most families have no idea of the actual cost until they're facing it, and by then the options are more limited. Um, Second, most people don't know what options actually exist. Is assisted living the same as nursing home? What is memory care? Can your parents stay at home with help? What does Medicare actually cover? The terminology alone is enough to make your head spin for sure. The third is having the conversation with your parent. That can be hard. Long-term care means acknowledging that your parent may not always be living independently. That's painful reality. That's a painful reality for everyone involved. So today I will talk about all 3 of those fears, walk through them one by one. By the end of the video, you will know your options, have a realistic sense of the cost, know exactly how to start planning, and even if a decision is still years away, you'll at least have this knowledge so that you can, um, you know, lean back on when it does come around. Understanding your options. Okay, let's start with the options because you can't plan for something you don't understand. There are 4 main long-term care options for aging parents, and each one serves a different level of need. Okay, so the first one, in-home care. This is exactly what it sounds like. Your parent stays in their own home. A professional caregiver comes in to help out. This can range from a few hours a day for companionship and light assistance, all the way up to around-the-clock care. This is often the first option families explore because it allows your parent to maintain their independence and stay in familiar surroundings. The cost typically ranges from $25 to $35 per hour, depending on the location, the level of care needed. For full-time in-home care, that adds up to about $5,000 to $6,000 a month, as I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video. Option 2, assisted living. Assisted living communities provide housing, meals, personal care assistance, and social activities in a residential setting. Your parent has their own apartment or room, but has access to staff around the clock. This is a good fit for a parent that needs more support than occasionally in-home care. Um, Provides, but doesn't need the medical intensity of a nursing home. The national average cost is around $4,500 to $5,000 per month. through costs and the costs vary significantly by location and level of care included. Option 3, memory care. Memory care is a specialized form of assisted living specifically designed for people with Alzheimer's disease or some forms of dementia. The environment is secured, the staff is specially trained, and programming is designed around cognitive needs. Memory care typically costs more than the standard assisted living. The average cost is $5,500 to $7,500 a month because of the specialized staffing and programming required. Option 4, skilled nursing facilities, also called a nursing home. This is the highest level of care for individuals who need 24-hour medical supervision and assistance with most daily activities. Semi-private rooms average around $8,000 per month nationally. A private room can exceed $9,000 to $10,000 per month. Ooh, yikes. So those are the four main options. I want to say clearly, none of these are better or worse than the other. The right option is the one that fits your parents' needs, their wishes, and your family situation. Now, I will tell you that depending on your area of the country, your location, your city, some nursing homes are not as good as others. So I think I'll have a separate video where I talk just about maybe where I split out each of these, because there can be a better or worse depending on where you're located, depending on facility to facility. Each of these facilities are ranked. So you can have your options there, but we can go into that at another time. But I just wanted to mention that on the surface, there's no option better or worse, but facility wise, it can be. So how do you pay for it? So that's a big question. Now that the question everyone really wants answered is how do we pay for it all? There are five main ways families can cover long-term care costs, and most families end up using a combination of these different avenues of financial help. The first one is personal savings and assets. Many families pay out of pocket, at least initially, using retirement savings, investments, or proceeds from selling a home. This is most commonly the starting point. It depletes quickly at these cost levels, for sure. Second, long-term care insurance. If your parent purchased a long-term care insurance policy years ago, this is the time to find it, understand the benefits, and know how to file a claim. If they don't have it, purchasing a new policy becomes significantly more expensive as you get older, particularly um, at 70, over 70, it gets a lot more expensive. And of course, depending on your health diagnosis as well. But it's worth checking it out to see if you can get that insurance if it's not too late. Thirdly, Medicare. Okay, Medicare. Here's something families don't realize. Medicare does not cover long-term custodial care. It will cover short-term skilled nursing care after a hospital stay up to like 100 days under specific conditions, but it does not pay for ongoing assisted living, memory care, or in-home personal care. And this surprises a lot of families. It surprised us. This was one of the reasons why when during the 2024 election, when Kamala Harris talked about including in-home care with Medicare, my ears perked up because that has been, something that has been really shocking that what our parent had did not cover any of that. So the fourth option here is Medicaid. Medicaid is primarily a government program that covers long-term care costs for those who qualify financially. Eligibility is based on income, assets, and the rules vary by state. So be careful to kind of, look at all that. Medicaid planning is complex. I strongly recommend consulting with the elder law attorney. If this is a path your family is considering. The key thing to know is that Medicaid planning needs to happen well in advance. There are look back periods that affect eligibility. Medicaid, I tell you, we went through that process. It is another whole video. So I'll talk to you about that later. Um, the fifth option is one that most do not consider, but VA benefits. So if you have a parent that's a veteran or a surviving spouse of a veteran, there may be significant benefits available through the VA aid and attendance program that can help cover in-home care, assisted living costs, and assisted living costs. This is one of the most underutilized benefits available and absolutely worth researching if it applies to your family. Um, I can tell you that we postponed this. This is something that we could have, um, went after, pursued earlier, but yeah, it's definitely an option. So again, I can, you know, I can record a whole nother video for VA as well. But so how to start planning. So now that we know the financing options, so now it's time to plan. Here's the practical part. What you can actually do right now, even if decisions are way in the future. Um, Step one is just having a conversation about preferences with your parent. Okay, what do they want to live? Where do they want to live as they get older? What matters most to you about your care? Do you want to stay at home as long as possible? Are you open to a community setting? What are your fears? Their answers shape every decision that follows. So it's very important getting that information from your parents, of course. Step two, find out what financial resources exist. Go back to that financial snapshot document sheet from part one of the series. Um, what savings does your parent have? Do they own their own home? Is there a long-term care insurance policy? Are they a veteran? Understanding the resources available helps you understand which options are realistic for you and your family. Step three, research what care costs in your specific area. So the national averages I shared today are just averages. Costs vary enormously by location. A quick search for assisted living facilities costs in your city will give you a much more accurate picture of what you're actually planning for. Step four, consult with the elder law attorney, especially if Medicaid is likely to be a part of the picture. Planning ahead with a professional can make an enormous difference with what options are available and what assets can be protected. And step five, finally, start the conversation early and keep having it. Your parents' needs will change over time. The care conversation is not one conversation. It is an ongoing dialogue. The families who navigate through this are the best ones. Uh, who navigates through this best are ones who start talking early and keep the lines of communication open. Um, so let's talk about how we're taking care of ourselves. I would like to end this series with something that doesn't get said enough. Adult children of aging parents carry an enormous amount on their shoulders. The financial planning, the emotional weight, logistics, and the conversations, all of it lands on you while you're also raising your own families and living your own life. So don't put yourself last in all of this. Financial planning that you're doing for your parents, it's also a reminder to do it for yourself. Your kids are watching how you handle this. And the legacy of having these conversations, of getting things in order, um, showing up with love and intention, this is something that will ripple forward for generations. You're simply incredibly, you're doing something incredibly hard, um, and you're not alone at all. So just wanted to mention that as we close out this series. So that wraps up the three-part Money Talk series. We've covered day-to-day finances, will and estate planning, and today long-term care costs. Getting tongue-tied here. Um, I'll link all three videos below so that you can share the full series with anyone who needs it. I've also created a free long-term care planning guide to go along with this video. It's linked in the description as well. Download it, fill it out, use it as a starting point for your family conversations, and drop a comment below and tell me which part of long-term care planning feels most overwhelming for you right now. I read every single comment, and I want you to know we are here where you are, and I'll share my insights with you as well. If this series helped you, please share it. There are other adult children of aging parents out there who needs this information today. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next on the Sandwich Generation Life. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.